Welcome on back to Skipper. Today I'm going to give you guys a quick spring training update with 5 guys who have impressed me so far. Do not forget to subscribe. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. This is an uphill battle, but we're going to keep chipping away at it. Join the Discord. Let's get into the players. First person who has impressed me so far is Ashcraft of the Reds. The right-hander showed really good stuff last season. He had a stuff plus of 109. This spring, he has absolutely dominated. In his 17 1/3 innings pitch, Ashcraft has a 2.6 ERA, a whip of .87, is giving up less than a hit per inning, and has 25 strikeouts. I'm not huge on all the Reds pitchers because they have to unfortunately play in a stadium that was built for ants, not baseball players, but Ashcraft may be the best bargain if you're trying to get a piece of that young Red staff. If the swing and miss stuff continues to play at this rate, he could be a steal in your deeper leagues. I like what he did last season. He's got a great fastball. Ashcraft has been getting swing and miss in this spring. Pretty happy with what the Reds have done with their arms so far. Again, I'm kind of out on them as a whole, unfortunately, because of where they have to play. But Ashcraft, awesome spring. Definitely a guy you could take in some deeper leagues and be a nice little bargain. Second guy with an awesome spring is Jeffrey Springs of the Rays. Springs was a guy that I was high on coming into the season, but I never really fit him into any of the videos because I thought maybe his ADP was a little wonky. I thought he was at around like 110s, 120s, but he sits at 154 with an ADP, and is a guy you can also put in your relief pitcher slots, a starting pitcher as a relief pitcher. Springs was great last season, a 107 whip, 2.46 ERA, and had 144 strikeouts in 135 innings pitched. He was a guy that was really able to limit hard contact and obviously got a ton of swing and miss stuff. So far this spring, he has 24 strikeouts in 14 innings, a whip of .5, and hasn't given up an earned run. It doesn't seem like last year was a fluke for the now 30-year-old, and I'll take that into account when I'm going into my drafts a week here before opening day. We go back to the Cincinnati Reds for the first hitter, and that is going to be Will Benson. This spring, he's hitting .341 with a 780 OPS and 6 stolen bases. Benson kind of has an outside chance, but he does have a chance to be the everyday guy in Cincinnati at center field. He was the 14th overall pick in the 2016 draft, but he went just 10 for 55 in his first 28 major league games with Cleveland last season. He has great speed and he has good pop. He put up a shiny 873 OPS in 116 career games at AAA. Again, he's hardly guaranteed an opening day roster spot, let alone regular playing time, but he does have some things going his way. Nick Senzel doesn't appear likely to be ready for the start of the season, and Joey Votto could also potentially start the year on the IL, which would make Will Myers the go-to first baseman. The Reds also don't have a ton of left-handed options in the outfield. Again, that decent power and speed upside would make him a nice little streaming play every other year. Or sorry, not every other year, but some of the weeks. He's similar to some of his other teammates. He's like a Jake Fraley type thing, but Will Benson is a very toolsy player. If he can figure it out at the major league level, with not a lot of expectations, this could be a really, really deep guy that you might want to add within the first month, depending on how it plays out. The fourth guy we're going to have to talk about him, Jared Kelnick. I don't know how I feel about Jared Kelnick. Is this finally the time it all clicks? I certainly hope so. With a path to a decent amount of playing time in Seattle, he has impressed big time this spring before going down a little sideline with a quad injury, I believe, right now. He's hitting .410. He has 4 home runs, 9 runs batted in, 3 stolen bases, 2 triples, and is only striking out at a 20% rate. He struck out way too much at the major league level in his 2 stints with 29.7%, but has always been really good in the minors when it came to bat-to-ball skills, and with a strikeout rate of only 18.1% over the last 2 years. Kelnick has the talent to be a great major league player. He was the top prospect for a reason. He was in the centerpiece of the Edwin Diaz deal for a reason. He seems to be a 4A player right now, just too good for AAA, just not good enough for the big leagues. But at this point, the Mariners are going to need him to produce in the outfield when it's pretty thin. You lose a couple guys. Again, you have Teoscar, you get AJ Pollock as well. So a little deeper, but as a left-handed bat in the outfield, I think it should be decent for Jared Kelnick to really a path to production this season. He is a perfect post-hype breakout candidate. People are just down on Jared Kelnick as a whole. They want to see the talent. They know how good of a player he can be, but he just hasn't shown it. This could be the perfect spot for him. Awesome spring for Jared Kelnick, and just hoping he can put it together in the big leagues. And finally, a nice little surprise for the spring numbers, but not surprised as a guy that I like. Yuri Ruiz. He's a speedster. I said that there's a very good chance he could lead the league in steals, but as someone reminded me in the comments, you cannot steal first base. The getting on base problem may not be as big as we thought, as he's shown the ability to hit big time this spring. As of right now, he's leading all of spring training in runs batted in with 14. He's getting on base at a 356 clip. Of his 13 hits, 4 of them are for extra bases, and he has more walks than strikeouts. He is going to be able to have to hit his way on base consistently or walk his way on base if he wants to get all of those steals. And another guy who would be great for runs. He is in a pretty piss-poor Oakland offense, unfortunately. And again, it's between Yesiri Ruiz and Christian Pache for the starting job in center field in Oakland. And both have had solid springs. Pache, I think, is hitting .333 at this point. But it's nice to see that Ruiz is able to hit again. I mean, he put up big-time numbers in the minors. Not so great in the majors in a short time. I liked him as a sleeper this season. I still do. Nice to see a nice spring start for Yesiri Ruiz. Those are 5 guys that have impressed me so far this spring. Let me know, any of you guys. I know we can't always take too much spring training stats into the season. Usually they don't mean a lot. Besides, like, the MVP guys are hitting over 400 the last couple MVPs. So as long as they're doing well, guys you can look forward to. But I'm happy to see these guys. Let me know if they've changed your thoughts where you were drafting them. Do not forget to subscribe. We're 1 week away from the season. Very, very exciting times. I will see you guys tomorrow.